It was supposed to be an ordinary night. I had just gotten back from a draining 3-day work trip, dragging my suitcase into the driveway with one thought on my mind: sleep. The house was dark, quiet, just as I'd left it. Up the path to my porch, I noticed something strange, the faint flicker of firelight glowing behind my house. At first I froze. Fire. My heart jumped into my throat. I rushed through the gate, and that's when I saw it. A full-on campsite had sprung up in my backyard. 2 tents, a portable grill, cooler, sleeping bags, a makeshift fire pit blazing away with my own firewood. Stacked beside it, seated around it like they owned the place, was none other than Karen, the woman who lived 2 streets over, and had a reputation for complaining about every minor inconvenience on the neighborhood Facebook page. She wasn't. Alone, her husband lounged in a camp chair, beer in hand. 2 kids roasted marshmallows over the fire. A third darted in and out of the tent, chasing their golden retriever. It wasn't just Karen. It was her entire family, comfortably camped out on my property. I was too shocked to speak. I just stood there, gripping the handle of my suitcase, waiting for some rational explanation. Karen looked up, saw me, and had the audacity to wave casually. "Oh, you're home early." Home early. Like I had just walked in on a party I had agreed to host. "What the hell are you doing in my backyard?" I demanded, my voice sharp enough to silence the kids' laughter. Karen blinked innocently. "Well, the campgrounds were all booked for the holiday weekend, and your backyard is so spacious and unused. We figured it would be perfect for a family camping trip." "You figured?" My voice was rising now. "This is my private property. You broke into my yard, built a fire, and set up tents without permission. Get out now." Karen rolled her eyes as if I were the unreasonable one. "Don't be so dramatic. We're not hurting anything. It's just a little camping trip. The kids are having fun. You weren't even here. It doesn't make it." "Okay," I shot back. Her husband shrugged from his chair, muttering, "Man, relax. Nobody cares. It's just grass and space. You should be thanking us for actually using it." I was speechless. Thanking them for trespassing, or burning my firewood and trampling my lawn. I pulled out my phone. "You have 2 minutes to pack up and leave, or I'm calling the cops." But Karen beat me to it. She stood up, pulling out her own phone, and with a wicked little smirk, dialed 911. Loudly enough for me to hear, she said, "Hello? Yes, this is Karen. I'm here with my children, and the homeowner just came back. He's screaming, threatening us, and I'm scared for my family's safety. Please send officers quickly." I was floored. She had just flipped the entire situation upside down. "Are you insane? You are the trespasser here," shouted. But she only turned her back to me, clutching her youngest child for added effect. My blood boiled. I knew how this could look. When the police arrived, she'd be the scared mother with kids, and I'd be the angry man yelling in the dark. Sure enough. 10 minutes later, flashing lights lit up my street. 2 officers approached, hands resting on their belts, scanning the yard with wary eyes. "Sir," one of them said firmly, "we got a report of a disturbance. What's going on here?" Before I could speak, Karen jumped in. "Officers, thank God you're here. We were just camping when he stormed in, screaming and threatening us. My kids are terrified." Her children huddled close to her, playing the part perfectly. I almost exploded. That is not what happened. "Officers, I came home and found them squatting in my backyard. They broke in, built a fire, and are refusing to leave." "She's lying to you." The younger officer frowned. "Do you have any proof of that, sir?" "Yes," I snapped, already pulling up my phone. "I have security cameras, motion sensors. Went off earlier tonight. I guarantee it shows them breaking in with all their junk." Karen paled slightly, but kept her composure. "That doesn't prove anything. He could have invited us earlier and now is just pretending he didn't." The officers exchanged a glance. "All right," the older one said. "Let's see the footage." I pulled up the video, my hands shaking with fury. Sure enough, the recording showed Karen and her husband prying open my gate with a crowbar. 6:45 p.m., lugging coolers, tents, and chairs across my lawn. By 8 p.m., they had the fire going. Not once did I appear because I was still on a plane. The officer's expressions hardened. "Ma'am," one said, turning to Karen. "Would you like to explain this?" Karen sputtered. That doesn't mean anything. We're just breaking and entering," I cut in coldly. "That's what it means." The officer nodded. "Ma'am, you and your family need to pack up and leave immediately. You'll also be receiving a summons for trespassing and possibly filing a false report." Karen's jaw dropped. "What? You're going to believe him over me? Look at my children. Look how scared they are. You're traumatizing them." "Then take them home," I snapped. 2 streets over. Her husband cursed under his breath, but began shoving sleeping bags into a duffel. The kids whined, dragging their feet. Karen, however, wasn't finished. She glared at me, her voice venomous. "This isn't over. You humiliated me. You'll regret this." I folded my arms, standing tall. "You'll regret ever stepping foot in my yard." The police escorted them out, and by 2 a.m., the backyard was finally quiet. Charred grass and smoke lingering in the air. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. 1 week later, a thick envelope arrived in my mailbox, a legal notice. Karen was suing me, her claims: emotional distress, harassment, damage to her children's reputation in the community. I laughed out loud when I read it, then felt the rage boil up again. She wasn't backing down. She was doubling down. But if Karen thought I'd roll over, she was mistaken. I hired a lawyer, a sharp woman named Alicia, who'd seen every trick in the book. The moment she read the complaint, she smirked. "This is frivolous." She's hoping you'll settle to shut her up. But if we fight, she'll bury herself. So we fought. The day of the hearing, Karen strutted into the courtroom like she was the victim of some great injustice. She had her husband at her side, her kids sitting primly behind them like props. She wore a somber black dress, dabbing her eyes dramatically. Her lawyer painted me as an aggressive, Zabel man who terrified a helpless family simply trying to find shelter during a difficult time. I almost laughed. Shelter? In my backyard? With fairy lights and s'mores? Then it was our turn. Alicia stood confidently, voice steady. "Your Honor, this case is an abuse of the legal system. The plaintiff not only trespassed on private property, but also filed a false emergency report to law enforcement, endangering my client's reputation. We have video evidence." She played the footage for the court. The entire room watched Karen. And her husband forcing open my gate, hauling supplies, lighting the fire. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. Karen's lawyer paled. Karen herself sank in her chair, face bright red. Then Alicia dropped the hammer. Furthermore, we have the 911 call transcript. The plaintiff knowingly fabricated claims of threats and aggression. This is perjury and a misuse of emergency services. The judge's expression hardened. He turned to Karen. "Ma'am, do you have any evidence to support your claims of harassment or threats?" Karen stammered, I was scared. "My children. That's not evidence." The judge cut her off. By the end of the hearing, Karen's lawsuit was not only dismissed with prejudice, but she was also slapped with fines for false reporting. In order to cover my legal fees, I walked out of that courtroom lighter than I'd felt in weeks. Justice had spoken. Word spread quickly through the neighborhood. People who had once tiptoed around Karen's tantrums now openly laughed about her campground stunt. She stopped posting on the community Facebook page. Her family became reclusive. As for me, I finally reseeded my backyard where the grass had been scorched. Every time I looked out at the now peaceful lawn, I smiled. Karen had tried to make me the villain of her fantasy. She had called the police on me, tried to twist the truth, even dragged me into court. But in the end, she only destroyed her own reputation. And every time I pass her street now, watching her scowl from behind her curtains, I'm reminded of one simple truth. Entitlement always collapses when faced with reality.